Hello everyone, I hope you're having a wonderful day. Today we have your Smoke and Steel League matchup for the week between the Alabama Volunteer Corps and the Free States Brigade. We'll note, if you live stream or recorded and uploaded your perspective of playing in the match, please send me a link on Discord or in the description or comment section, and I will put it in the pinned comment of the video. Anyways, our first round is going to be the Cooke's Countercharge. Alabama Volunteer Corps picked the map, Free States Brigade obviously pick CSA. And then our second round, first time I've seen this map in like over half a year, is Maryland Heights. Free States Brigade, they picked the map. AVC picked CSA, unsurprisingly. So those are our two rounds. Before we get into this, thank you to our YouTube members for the support. If you'd like to support, go beneath the video and hit the join button. By doing so, you can get a live stream of all the broadcasts we do. You can advertise your regiment at the bottom of our videos and get an additional broadcast per week. So here are the standings as follows. To note, the two matchups on the bottom left, there won't be one next week because we have the July 4th anniversary event. So should be interesting to see what that update is, at least with having red coats and stuff in the game. We'll see if it's a reskin or they actually maybe have a new map or two. But anyways, that's why there's no matchup on July 1st. Regiments for tonight on the Free States Brigade CSA side for round 1, Union round 2. Remember the swapping sides. You got FSB, 59th New York, Colquitt's Brigade, 2 Corps, 12th Virginia, Missouri State Guard, and the 7th Texas. Whereas on the Alabama Volunteer Corps side, you have 10th Tennessee, 10th United States, 51st Alabama Corn Brigade, Jackson's Division, the Kentucky Outlaws, and the Shenandoah Regulars. Server pop for tonight. It's currently 3-11. Union right now up by 1. And no one... TSA doesn't have artillery. Union not taking it, and I think smartly so because it's in a really crappy spot. It's forward in front of the rest of the Union defensive line. So anyways, frontline reporters for tonight. Representing our Union perspective, you have FrostySpace from Jackson's Division, and then on the CSA side, you got Red from the 59th New York. Appreciate these guys so we can see what's going on the ground while also seeing what is going on in the sky. And co-commentating with me, as always, we have Corded. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hello, I'm Corded from 6th Louisiana, part of 2nd Corps.
And we're glad you're back again, as always. So, in your opinion, how does each side want to play Cooke's Countercharge?
Well, CSA, in my opinion, the more popular route is to go on the left side and attack up the road. Just go ahead and get straight up there. It's not an easy place for Union to defend because you can't put too many people up there. But CSA this time has chosen to kind of split their forces and go either side. Right side has gone in, but the left side is staying back and shooting, which doesn't usually work well for CSA. It just kind of wastes time. Union on this southeastern side, Union left side of the map is doing fine. CSA, they're in the corn, just kind of trying to fire out of the corn. 10th US is way far back by the hay bales, firing into the corn. They've got decent shots. CSA. It's not easy shots, especially because like half the other Union forces that they're up against, they're taking cover behind the hill. So it's not an easy approach for CSA on this right side. A couple of them are now going toward the corner. That might work a little better.
Yeah, so shootouts begun for now. At least ticket imbalance for this map. Before the update, the CSA had a 37% ticket advantage. They gave 15% more tickets to the Union side. So now the CSA has a 22% ticket advantage on that. Weaponry for this map, Union has the 28th Pennsylvania with the Springfield 61, and they have the 52nd New York with the Enfield. CSA, on the other hand, they've got the 27th North Carolina with the option of the Springfield 55 Enfield, but more importantly, the Springfield 42, so buck and ball, and they also have the 3rd Arkansas Regiment with the option of the Enfield and the Springfield 42 as well. So CSA, their whole team has the option of the buck and ball, which acts as shotguns, really better than most of the weaponry in this game. And in the past for this map, it's very simple. If CSA as a team charges in, gets aggressive, gets close to a shootout with Union, they will win this map 99% of the time. If they do what they're doing right now, they are not going to win. You can't sit back and play conservative on this map with CSA. Sure, you don't have many tickets as you did before the update, but you have complete advantage with weaponry and stuff. And trying to get a shootout with a Union and play slow, that's how Union wins this game. So Union has this first defensive line that they're on right now. holding pretty well. Obviously, CSA not really pressuring them a whole lot. From there, if CSA does throw the Union off behind the point, it's kind of hard to tell, but there is a slight defilade here that the Union can hold on and form that second defensive line alongside the hay bales to the east, which CSA is actually shifting over there. And then lastly, if Union needs to fall back further, they can fall back to the graveyard or behind their main spawn in the woods and kind of turtle there. So at least to see some aggression here from the CSA. I like that 7th Texas kind of flanking around here. Union not really moving a whole lot that way. Looks like FSB is following as well.
CSA is sending a lot of groups over there. CQB and 59th New York are also going that direction. It is dangerous because they're going to be cut off from the rest of their friendlies. But it's going to depend on if Union actually capitalizes on it. And TKO and AVC, they are starting to move in behind the CSA as they run toward the hay bales. I know 10th US, they are also there. They have pulled off of the hay bales, and that allowed CSA to take that position.
Yeah.
Let's see if they can get their flags in there.
I mean,
if you're going to eventually get 2 flags over by the hay bales. We'll see. Union, it's only a little bit of Union going after the hay bales, so CSA is going to be able to hold that for a little while.
Yeah, I don't know if Union realized that the whole CSA right pushed forward to the hay bales, so you got some Union charging in, as Cord had mentioned, and some sitting back. You can't do this inconsistent type of stuff if you're Union, because you're just going to get spread out defeated in detail, one thing. And I mean, Union's up by tickets, which is really surprising out of the whole thing. Not really surprising because CSA sat back, but Union can actually maybe afford some ticket losses, and if they can use that ticket advantage they have to try to charge out the CSA and get some flags, that could be huge for the Union side. But unfortunately, only AVC and TKO look to go in there, and they got wiped. They didn't push with their flags, so they can still respawn. But now CSA is starting to flank the whole Union team.
Mm-hmm. And with those 2 flags, they can get a lot of people over there. So those 2 regiments have 43 and 39 between them. So about 90 to 100 people are able to spawn over by those hay bales. And I get 10th Tennessee lining up with 10th US and AVC. So they're going to make a long skirmish line trying to face the CSA. And 7th Texas, they are pushing a little bit farther up on that hill that Union likes to sit back on. They'll be facing 10th US as they run straight up, and 10th US is just sitting there waiting for him.
Get a couple good hits there. CSA still down on tickets. Jeez. I mean, sure, CSA's gotten behind the Union, and that's great. But they're just kind of in a similar situation. They just flipped. Almost. I mean, they still, both sides still kind of have cover in a sense. Union has defilades if they want to use those. So it's surprising to see CSA. Who's this all the way over here? MSG and 12th VA. I mean, they're sitting about as far back as you can near the Dunker Church. I guess they can go a little further back, but they want to be in cover. So again, it's just surprising to see CSA play so conservative on this map.
Yeah, and it's not really that much cover on this map. Those snake fences.
Right. So once
I mean, if they want to advance up and decide to charge eventually, which they probably should think about that at some point, just hopping over into the road would be a good idea, or decent enough idea. Mostly because Corn Brigade, they have to shoot past the fence, which is not quite as visible. It'll probably force Corn Brigade to hop into the road, and then 12th can just hop right back over to be a nuisance.
Play Frogger here.
Yeah, they do have Second Corps. They've moved themselves onto that onto the big hill. I don't know what you call it.
Victory
I think
Hill?
some people might call it Victory Hill.
Yeah,
okay.
That's what I've heard. I've heard Victory Hill for a lot of hills, though. So.
But they do have to watch out for JD. They are the force closest to the Second Corps, and then also just the Union that is right in front of them. AVC and TKO, those could be the main people they're going to have to contend with.
Yeah,
and Second Corps does not have. They have the smallest regiment of all the companies on their team. They have 28 with them, so they got to be careful. I saw a corpse fly across my screen. That was really weird. I haven't seen those physics before. And Second Corps, they're going to run to the hay bales just like the rest of their team.
I don't know if they are.
That's where they're going.
I think they're just gonna stop because they're getting
Oh,
crossfire.
okay, yeah. You're right. You're right.
They're getting crossfire right now in the Union. Union can't let 2-core sit there for too long just because they're going to start getting crossfire and slowly collapse in. And that's something you kind of can't afford if you're a Union. CSA still playing back. They're going to hit engage. Union's up half morale stage. JD, I think that's JD anyways. Yep. They are pushing up, and I think rightly so. Just 2-core is getting completely shot down here, outnumbered. So good response from Union.
And with the new boundaries, CSA can't use the road that Union, the road that is like perpendicular to Union spawn. You think you know you know what I'm talking about. The one that CSA is right next to. They can't use that as a little bit of cover / concealment. Yep, they can't go back there.
Did 2-core flag?
But yeah, he did. He went back to the hay bales.
Okay,
yeah,
that makes sense. 59th CQB pushing up center.
MSG 12th VA, they are all by themselves on this left side. They are pulling a decent amount of the Union. Let's see, we got JD, they're switching back over to the northwest. So a third or 3/4 of the CSA are behind the Union, and half the Union is focused to their southwest, toward Countercharge.
What the heck? I mean, CSA is inching kind of closer. 7th Texas has moved up alongside CQB 59th. I do not know why 12th VA and MSG are still so far away from their team. I mean, maybe they're trying to distract, but they're really distracting with a lot of guys. But, I mean, they are pulling some Union, which most of the Union is now backing off, kind of trying to defend their rear now, which CSA is using this deflate. Really nice volley there from 7th Texas on Union, who was on Victory Hill there. At least it looked like it. Someone in the chat just put, "Don't get me started on Papa John's versus Little Caesars." You got an opinion on that, Corded?
I would say that I would opt toward Papa John's for just the pizza itself. But the Italian cheese bread at Little Caesars is pretty damn good.
See, I haven't had Papa John's in a long time. They are probably better quality pizza, but you can get a hot and ready, I think it's now $6 pizza from Little Caesars. It's there, it's ready, it's cheap. It might not be great, but it's everything you need in pizza. So.
Yeah, I always like to order extra sauce for me.
They
and I think Papa John's has the better sauce for pizza.
Maybe I need to try that at some point and compare. That'll be the next BLN video.
Yeah, it's next tier list.
59 CQB pushing really far up. Meanwhile, CSA, seeing that Union kind of backed off that right side, our 12th VA MSG are pushing forward. Interestingly, though, 30th Ohio retreats from that position, and JD pushes up to that position on this Union right side. I don't know why one group left. Maybe they're just trying to hide, but weird. 59th and CQB back off from the center there, and Union hits engage.
Yeah, Corn Brigade coming right back in. Once they notice JD is there to support.
What's that last thing about Little Caesars? They released a pretzel crust pizza. Awesome. Simply. Anyways. Yeah, Union's really playing aggressive. Union seems to weirdly almost kind of controlling the action and the pace of this round, which is not something you want if you're CSA. And Alcorn Brigade's getting really close. JD's looking to push up as well. And 12th VA MSG getting completely shot off. What is going on? You know, when I saw Cooke's Countercharge and Maryland Heights on the court sheet, I'm like, well, this is going to be a 2-0 CSA sweep. But that's not happening right now.
Yeah, I think of all the CSA groups, FSB right now has had the best shots. being the closest to the Union. I think the rest of the CSA could just push up, especially 7 Texas and the rest of the CSA that's kind of on the right side of this line. I think if they all push up together, they can start doing some damage.
Right. 12th BA and MSG got to be like, hey, we're pulling a lot of Union over here. I mean, I don't know if CSA's worried about charging in, but I mean, you've been doing this for 15 minutes and you're still... I mean, the ticket gap has closed a little bit, but I mean, you're still down a third of the morale stage, so...
Yeah, they shouldn't worry about charging, because that is something you're going to do on this map.
Literally, the first time I won Cooke's Countercharge back in, like, late 2020, early 2021, when, I mean, we were, what, at 150, 200 player servers at that point? I mean, really small. Each death was a lot of tickets lost for your team, and with it being a 37% ticket advantage at that point, I mean, it was unholy amount of bias towards CSA. And in late 2020, early 2021, one is Union. It was an hour, 12-minute long match where the CSA just sat back and just shot at us Union the whole time. We as Union just turtled within the graveyard. CSA, because they were playing so conservative, just sat back, shot for a while. Black Timer dropped for a while. They would eventually run up early, cap the point, as you normally would as an attacker, to force the defenders out. And normally, in that instance, right, the attackers would defend the point for a little bit to bring everyone's tickets down, but instead the CSA just backed off the point the moment they early capped it, so we as Union just ran up, retook it, ran back, and this repeated for an hour and 12 minutes until we eventually won. Don't remember if it was like final push last stand, but regardless.
So one thing I would like for you to do is to do a corpse comparison between the Union and the CSA lines, because especially underneath the point, you can see just a bunch of Union.
It's funny.
It's crazy because you know they cut the grass, so you can see the bodies better now.
Feels like I'm playing golf when I hear that. Getting a golf lesson. But
yeah, golf and corpses.
Of course. So, I mean, I'm also kind of intrigued to see the skirmishing and out-of-line deaths at the end of this as well. I don't know if how much... I don't think that's going to have that much of an impact, but... I mean, CSA, at least from what I'm looking, most of them are standing together, but... I don't get it. There's a certain meta way to play. I don't know why CSA's not playing it. I mean, Union's doing great, right? I mean, sure, you're defending not necessarily the most amount of stuff to do, but, I mean, Union's doing good. They're keeping their distance from the CSA, making sure Buck and Ball can't be as effective. Still good, but can't be as effective, because the pellets can't kill past 33 yards in that shotgun shot, essentially. And so, as long as Union keeps their distance, they can still have guys keep firing. Sure, if they get hit, they get suppressed, right? But at least they're not losing tickets and dying. And normally I would say, like, oh, if you wound someone, don't necessarily kill them with a Buck and Ball pellet. That's still fine, because you'll eventually charge in, maybe you'll kill them, but CSA's just not charging at all. So, yeah, this is something. Union just keeping their distance wherever CSA move. Union line just changes based on that. It's foolproof until CSA charges, which we'll see.
Yeah. Push out 7 Texas in second core, or whoever's left of the of the CSA back there.
Surely.
Second core guy tried to run the flag out. Another one's trying to pull it up. Let's see how far he can make it. Run through the bushes.
I don't know if 8th sees him. Okay. We gotta fix these tags here. 6 LA. L is caps, A is not. But
yeah, so, yeah. We love him. He's been around.
He got the flag out. He got the flag out.
He has seniority.
A true warrior. That's why he has the lowercase a.
That's second core flag work.
I can't say anything, though, because my titles are all caps. Anyways, Union right, 59th CQB is shifted this way. They've flipped battlefields like 2 or 3 times now, and 30th Ohio's backing out of there pretty quickly.
So now CSA finally has control of this left side.
And they're going to get a flag.
And they're going to have control of this half of the map, because now all of Union's going to be behind point.
So, good Good moves there. 30th Ohio, that's unfortunate you lose your flag there, but yeah, I mean, CSA's now completely pushed Union off of that initial defensive line, assuming Union doesn't push CSA off it, which I guess you never know, but CSA can slowly start to encapsulate them and maybe do better. We'll see. Again,
Yep. They all have to put their pretty faces on because War of Rights' newest developer is also spectating today.
is he in? Cody?
Yeah.
Ah. I've seen during event times he goes around and hops on different servers.
He does. I should ask him if he has to, if as a developer account, if he even needs the password. If he can just join any server.
That's how we get the actual developer interview, where we get the actual questions answered.
Yeah.
Do your thing, Corden.
Talk about it in the fireside chat.
I hope they actually talk about something that's actually kind of important. Sort of merge in these like bug fix talks. I love it. Don't get me wrong.
They can't say anything about something that's upcoming because
They want horses.
It's George Creasy, Bradley, and Cody. They're not going to get that kind of information.
That's
Even if they did, they would not be able to say anything.
That's true. That just reminds me of the interview I had with Bradley.
Because Bradley
Like,
has the most privileged information, and he's not given anything.
I do find it funny every once in a while where Bradley will say in the War of Rights Discord, he's like, I really wish that Campfire Games would do this. I'm like, aren't you Campfire Games?
Yeah, right.
But hey, he's obviously not the one making decisions, so at least as it pertains to stuff like that. So anyways, Union pushed up back on Victory Hill, charging in center. Finally, 2-course CQB charging into JD. CSA do hit taking losses. Which looks like CSA is going to barely win. Oh, don't tell me they lose that flag.
Which they're not going to, I think.
They shouldn't. 10th US pushed up. I'm surprised they're not charging in.
There we go. Yeah.
I'm like, hold up. They just let JD die. They hate JD. So 10th US going to push through that and retake that ground and get the flag back up. Oh, I should have plugged at the beginning that Steam sales tomorrow. 50% off. You didn't know it was tomorrow?
Well, it could be off for War of Rights. We don't know.
There's no way War of Rights will. It will surely drop a sale beforehand.
They should also drop update 200 because that's going to be the next one. And it better be something actually impressive.
I looked back at update 150. It was a small, minor update.
No, well, that's just 150. Hey, you know.
All right, I gotta look.
Gotta look all the way back to 100.
Yeah, I was about to look that up.
Actually, let me see if I can look that up real quick.
Yeah, it might be easier because I need to fly the camera around. News. Oh. So I went on the War of Rights website and oh, right. Okay, in the campfire chats though, like they could surely just say, you know, we're still working on it, guys. We're still working on horses. That or Shepherdstown or something like that. Just a hint at it. But alright, I'm on update 124. Oh, 103.
See. So, yeah.
Harper's Ferry was update 100.
They added the first skirmish area to Harper's Ferry, and that was River Crossing.
Hell yeah.
That's a W update.
Dynamic weather. It looks like some weather changes too.
Overhauled the time of day.
Wow, we did not get that in the recent update. I can't wait for... I'm kidding, we got new weather. Is that it? Community video highlights. Oh my goodness, there's 6 links. Who is it? The first one goes to Calibrated Core. Interesting.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
I've not heard of this guy before.
Classic name. Classic name.
Who do we got? Is this a General Cody video? Oh yeah, but General Cody video. Anyways, yeah.
CSA is still struggling a little bit.
Back to what we're doing here. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a fight kind of going on at Victory Hill. Union's really starting to reinforce since 10th US now pushing up, getting into side shots against 7th Texas, who backed off. 59th is probably going to back off in the shortly.
Yeah, they are getting around it over there.
That's the thing is, whenever CSA does actually send somebody forward, they only send 1 or 2 groups forward, and Union instantly reinforces and attacks. It's Union is playing a perfect defense. Sure, CSA's not playing great, but even if someone does bad, the other side can play well. So, also, yeah.
So both regiments for CSA have access to buck and ball.
Right.
So I would assume that would mean that at least some of them are going to start getting up close and charging.
You would think
that's
their
not
whole team,
happening.
their whole team would do that.
You'd think that.
Also, the
He's defeating in detail, right?
yeah.
Because MSG and 12V8, they could just roll up on Corn Brigade right now. They might not do the most amount of damage, but they could at least, trade some kills, and that would be a net positive on tickets for CSA.
CSA needs to start doing that now.
But the way that that CSA line is angled on that fence, 30th Ohio and 8th Ohio, they just have to hit the fence. They just have to aim down the fence, and they're going to hit somebody.
And bravely struggled for our rights.
It looks like some of those 12th VA guys are shooting towards the center of the map where Union is.
Thing is, those are farther shots.
Right. Man. Also, do you still have that update page pulled up?
Yeah, it's on the forums that are magically still up.
I don't know if it's the case on the forums, but at least on my page, scrolling down to the bottom where it says skirmishes phase 2 and early access, access is missing the last S. The last S.
Oh yes, Master.
With the introduction of 150 player servers and the formation buff system, and with flag bearer spawning system just around the corner, as well as officer specific game rules to limit trigger happy Rambo officer. That is a quote. Trigger happy Rambo officer. That's a heck of a way to say something. Anyway, CSA on the right side now appear to be charging in. FSB is going in. I saw some CSA flags in the Union line already, but it didn't look like a huge CSA line charged in. CSA is going in, but they're just being defeated in detail the whole time. What the heck? If AVC pulls off a win here, holy crap. I mean, the surprising thing, too, is FSB is, at least what we saw from last season, and the few times I've talked with some of their leaders, they love playing aggressive. So I do not understand what the hesitation is the 15 per second ticket change. Like, really, it's not that big of an impact. I watched this on pubs right after the update. Not that that's all end all be all, but when the CSA was aggressive, they won. So I don't get it.
Yeah. So this is supposed to be the most aggressive map for CSA. Pretty much. It's also supposed to be one of the easiest. At least before the ticket change. But even then, let me see what I was trying to say here. Regardless of the way the tickets go, the shooting and being able to take ground, those stay the same. The ticket outcome can change, but they could still take positions and dominate the field as CSA.
10th Tennessee is pushing real close to the CSA line. More Unions following. They got 10th US to their left. JD is pushing up kind of in this defilade here, and they're getting real close to CSA. Continue, sorry. Not sorry.
I was done.
Oh, okay, good. We hate you talk. No. JD pushes up. CQB 59 put a lot of great shots at him. Grant and 10th Tennessee pretty much got shot down too by 5th VA there. Unions, you get what Union's doing. They're getting a little too close for my taste. Granted, right? They're up by over half morale stage at this point, so they can burn those tickets. Obviously, there's still plenty of match and anything can change, but
Yeah. Now, what Union could do is try to push CSA completely off of the field, but they would need Corps Brigade to start pushing themselves up a little bit more to help them out. But I think Union could do it if they wanted to.
They probably could. They probably shouldn't, though. I just feel like charging your whole team in the buck and ball is very ballsy.
Well, you don't even really have to charge. You could just get closer and you just put pressure on it, because CSA is kind of on the back foot right now.
They've been on the back foot the whole round.
I mean, yeah. But they're all together at this point. They're pretty bunched up in the grand scheme of things. In Union, they have CSA flanked on one side. They can easily flank them on a different side, because CSA doesn't have that many people on the Union artillery. They can just send TKO and 51st Alabama that direction and get into the side of CSA. But now we have Union starting to pull back. JD, they're going way back in the back.
I mean, what? We're up to 324. Union's up by 2 guys. It almost, the round's playing like Union has 30 more guys in the CSA. Union team backs off completely. And CSA is going to immediately push in. Now the question is, are they going to charge one of these units? 7 Texas is getting up real close. Again, someone just said they got no loads, and then 7 Texas just got completely slaughtered. He jinxed it. And so CSA pushes up, and again, they're continuing to sit and shoot. You know, if CSA pulls it off in the end, alright, the moment Union hits breaking, if CSA takes point, they can win. CSA can win a charge and just win point and win. How many more times can we say win? But they just need one good charge, and they can do well. I don't know why they're being cautious. This is why we need to hop in the Steam chat right now.
What are you doing?
I don't know. For how passive CSA has been, it doesn't feel like there'd be a lot of yelling in the call. At least you don't think.
Probably not.
You never know.
Yeah. I doubt there's someone in there going, push up, please God.
Someone's at least thinking that.
I've heard people do that before, but those are in more tense situations.
The most recent memory I have in Steam chat was the Colquitt's defense round that I led. It was, someone recorded it, like spectated it. I don't know if it was you or someone else, but I remember that Steam chat, like half the officers were quiet, and anytime you tried to do something, there was just no communication, and we got completely blown up. It was bad. We got to do more of those. Yeah. Someone suggested doing like a YouTuber v YouTuber, where they each lead a side.
I've thought about a you versus me on here.
That would be interesting. That would be kind of funny.
It was more. It would have been more interesting in BLN Wednesdays, but
right.
But well, yeah. Or just do like a BLN versus.
So we do next week for the July 1st.
President and Vice President SSL. That'd be crazy.
That's what they do. They don't actually vote on their leaders in SSL. They just. That's what all the preseason matches are. They fight for who's in charge of the event. So Union's about to hit breaking. 6LA is getting really close to 10th Tennessee on victory, hitting some ABC guys. Again, not charging.
Hi guys.
Yeah, they're about to get flanked by 10th US. And they probably know that. But they're just like, there's no one else here with us.
In the bushes to the right, let them have it.
Well, they got the flag.
I think Jason just saw 10th US.
Blood.
Like, oh, get out of there. Alright, now we've got 7th Texas sneaking up behind 10th US. Let's see. Yeah, a couple you can aspire them, but they're able to get their shots off.
If you go back and
sorry.
Okay,
7th Texas, don't stay on the fence, please. Step back into the corner. Few steps. Conceal yourself.
If you rewind the video like 5-10 seconds, right when 7th Texas volleyed, you will notice that they all all the kills on the 10th U.S. side, all the deaths anyways, were all in the center of the line. People need to realize, and I mean, this obviously not always taught, and I mean, even if it is taught, it's just human instinct. I mean, I do it too. If you're in a big line, if you're on the right side of your line, shoot to the right side, at least from your view, the right side of your opponent's line. If you're on the left, shoot to the left. If you're center, center. And so your shots can be spread out, because if you all concentrate and shoot towards the center or shoot towards a flag, all your bullets are going to go in one spot, and you'll kill maybe those people there, but the rest of the line will remain unharmed. Anyways, little side tangent. Union hits break it.
The last little trick is the people on the outside of the lines are more likely to be skirmishing than in line. So if you need a target to hit, those aren't a bad one. It's not a bad one to pick.
Now watch everyone just shoot to the outside, and you're like, wow, they missed a lot of... So Union gets on point. CSA, this is probably the most forward they've been as a team this game. And... I mean, Union's in the death lead. They got cover. They're still within reasonable distance of the CSA. So, I mean, I don't see this round kind of changing unless we see anything on this northwest side with MSG and 12th VA pushing down. And they can keep pushing down if they want. I mean, I get you do have some Union kind of on their flank here, that being some 30th Ohio guys. They could try to push up to those rocks. I don't know, Corded, if you think that's a good spot or not. Do you know what rocks I'm talking about? It's to the northwest of Point, north of Point. There's a couple of rocks there in the defilade.
Yeah, it's not bad. There's not much cover. They're pretty small rocks.
Nah.
It's better to just use the hill.
So, 7 minutes and 40 seconds. If Union wins Maryland Heights now, this whole night is out the window.
Yeah, once again, 12th VA, MSG, just reorient yourselves. I wouldn't even bother with defense that much, honestly. Just look straight on to a Union line. Because Corn Brigade, they're having easier shots on you, firing at you from the diagonal.
They're very well deflated too, it looks like. That's what they thought about when they were building these snake fences. They were like, if I was in a civil war, would this be a great defilade? It only mattered for those couple fence poles, though. So,
yeah.
CSA, I mean, they're spread up into 3 groups. You got your center group getting in with the Union. They are capping Point right now. At least they have a majority. They're teetering. There's taking it. If I were CSA, I would just all collapse in on the point. You're starting to take it right now. Might as well try to contest and draw Union out into a charge, which is really what CSA's kind of needed this whole game. Maybe CSA's like, well, we don't want to hit final push. Well, more Union push up and they take it back. We'll note, though, that Union, unlike Cooker's push, it looks like they gotta kind of expose themselves and get out of their defilade to actually be on point, which is maybe helping CSA. It looks like that gap is closing a little bit. 12th VA MSG pulling up to that hill. Raiders 30th move inside, and they got him in a crossfire, CSA does.
Quickly getting destroyed.
Man.
Hey, Union very much on point. We're going to get a gigantic Union line stretching across the point.
Awesome. Imagine if CSA had already.
Very cool to see. Now, 12th VA and MSG, they're in a good position to kind of roll up the Union line. Because all they got to do is push up just a little bit, and they can fire straight down that Union line. If they had canister, someone would probably miss, because that's what Artie usually does with it. Or they would just be like, oops, we put shell in. I have grudges, okay?
So, alright. All things considered, CSA still has a very good shot of winning this. So, any minute now, CSA is going to drop into final push. It might lower the black timer a minute. It might not even lower it at all. Black timer will lower to the amount of time it takes for an attacker to get from their main spawn to the point 2 times without getting their bayonets or reloads. And if the clock is below that mark, the black timer doesn't move down at all. But when CSA hits final push, they have infinite spawns at this point. Union, on the other hand, they hit last stand. And when Union hits last stand, that means they can't respawn anymore. If you were dead when your team hit last stand, you spawn in automatically so that your team has one full wave. And actually, Union is dropping really fast, and that's just, I think, mostly because of this flank from 12th VA and MSG.
It is.
And if
lots of bodies on the Union.
Holy crap. Points starting to go back in CSA's favor as well.
Yeah. You can also see...
they're going to hit last stand first.
You can also see where FSB and 59th and CQB are. There's a lot of bodies down there because they've just been getting pelted by the Union. And only a few were by Victory Hill on 2nd Corps. Have been getting hit the least.
Is Union going to hit it first? Oh, no. Although this is... the amount of bodies here. It's very... And that's a thumbnail.
It might be. Union's going to hit last stand pretty soon.
CSA's
I think CSA...
Wow.
Yeah, CSA turned it around. Oh, there you go. Now, yeah. That's what happens when CSA pushes up.
Who would have thought? There should be no reason. Scored, you got your thoughts for a round as FSB somehow pulls out a win here.
So, yeah, see, Union, they played pretty well. Only thing is, I guess they weren't really ready for when CSA eventually decided to start attacking. They kind of allowed themselves to clump up and allow themselves to get flanked by CSA, and that's what I think happened. Yeah, it took CSA a little while to actually start doing anything, but they eventually won it because it's Cooke's countercharge.
Yeah, the fact that it was that close, not that good for CSA, but, you know, they got the win in the end, and that is all that matters in terms of that. So, good job, FSB, at the end there. AVC had a really good game plan there, but, again, Cooke's countercharge, it's going to come down to how aggressive is CSA. And as Cord had said, once 12th VA and MSG kind of pushed up that flank, it was over. Also, Union, at least compared to CSA here, is taking a lot less skirmishing and out-of-line deaths. Granted, CSA is just taking more deaths because they're attacking. But, yeah, good first round, all things considered. That has to be real demoralizing if you're Union.
Yeah.
But sides are going to flip. FSB's side will be on Union, and AVC will be on CSA. We'll see you shortly for Maryland Heights. And here we are. Finally. Maryland Heights. Haven't seen it in at least confirmed a half a year. Could have been a lot longer than that. And no one plays it, even though it is a 0% attacker ticket advantage on this map. And we'll explain why no one really plays it shortly. But anyways, server pop for right now is 315. Right now, Union's up by 1. No Artie on this map. So no Artie day. Again, the sides have flipped. So AVC is now leading the CSA attack. And FSB is now leading the Union defense. So anyways, Corded, you have thoughts on strategy for Maryland Heights?
The strategy for years on this map has been to flip the map.
Oh, no way.
What CSA does is they're going to be hugging this left side boundary, going to the top of the mountain as fast as they can. Union, what they're going to do, they're also going to go to the top of the mountain. Because you know why? They don't want the CSA to flip the map. So, there's going to be a tense battle at the top of the hill. Whoever can take the high ground is going to be the victor in this match. I am going to predict it because that's what happens every time.
Because, two things to note. Corden mentioned this beforehand. Normally, the defending side spawns on the point on the map. However, they don't spawn on the point on this map. They spawn in a little camp, which is funny. But also, if Union lose, their main spawn is on the bottom of the hill. So, if Union lose one charge and lose their flags, it's over for them. Anyways, again, CSA, they don't have any ticket advantage on this map, which is crazy to think about. However, weaponry, I'm pretty sure, favors CSA. CSA, they've got the 18th Mississippi with the option of the Springfield 55, the Enfield. but more importantly, the Springfield 42, and they also have the 3rd South Carolina with the option of the Enfield and the 621. Union, on the other hand, they got the 126th New York with the Enfield, and they have the 32nd Ohio with the Lorenz or the Springfield 61. So, CS, they've gotten to the top of the hill. Union there as well, although most of the Union's not directly on top of the hill. They're almost giving CSA the high ground in a sense, trying to hold down for a better position. I will note, mentioned this to Corda beforehand, but I think they should move the Union main spawn over by the Overlook. That'd make a lot more sense, and also that's also just a cool place to overlook. So CSA
they also should move the Union spawn at the beginning of the map to the point. It's been at the camp forever. Back when because I'm pretty sure the point used to be on the camp. That's what it is on the map. Or what's what it used to be on the map.
Interesting. So CSA move down center. 12th VA and MSG for Union move against them. CSA on point, 10th US, TKO, ABC. Mind you, most of the time how this map will go is if CSA wins on the top of the hill, it takes Union like 4 or 5 minutes to actually get back up to the top of the hill. So CSA will just cap the point and then hold off 2-3 Union charges, 3 at most, and they'll just win the game. So CSA capping here is not a bad thing. It would even be a good thing. They just get this rolling. So that engagement on point, Union's kind of got crossfire on them right now. CQB in 59th on top, shooting down at the point. Meanwhile, as mentioned, 12th VA, MSG shooting into the side there. Man, I'm so happy to see Maryland Heights. I have not seen this. I need to look this up the last time I've seen it. But CSA counterattack. So essentially how counterattack works, black timer stops. We got a new gold timer. The gold timer starts at a different time marker depending on the morale stage of the defending team. Union was in battle ready, so it's 20 minutes if Union was in their next stage engaged. 12 minutes taking losses. The stage after that is 7 minutes breaking last stand. Attackers can cap and win off the rip. But black timer stop, gold timer ticking. Union is now counterattacking. They're attacking. They need to retake the point. If they do that, the black timer will continue, gold timer will go away, and life is good. Other thing to note too is that if Union is down on tickets and the CSA lose the point, Union retake it, the Union will regain up to the percentage of tickets that the CSA is at, which will most likely happen, but there's sometimes where the original defending team anyways can have higher tickets than the original attacking team, and nothing happens when a point's retaken. The reason why I say original attacking team and defending team is because the roles are flipped, right? Union's attacking, CSA's defending. CSA can hit last stand, Union can hit final push, even though that's not their traditional roles. And the thing is that if the Union pushes the CSA into last stand and retakes the point, they could win. That is a gist of... That's nearly everything with the counterattack mechanics. You can also watch the War of Rice tutorial video. Anyways, a lot of shooting. Union slightly down in tickets.
Yeah, lots of shooting.
I forgot my glasses. Sorry, Nuke.
What I would like to see from Union, at least once maybe this round, is if they do get pushed off, do not go the regular route from spawn. Take the long way up past the camp, and you can just get behind the CSA. Like they're probably not gonna see it coming. And even if they do, they're not used to fighting on that ground.
That's
yeah.
Assuming they have
But
the flags.
also, yeah. Also, if you really want to be fancy, you could pull those flags over to that little overlook. Hope the CSA doesn't come after you because they can't go that way. You can try to hide some Union forces over here because there are, some cliff sides that you could hide a good number of people, and CSA probably will not find you.
That's a good point. That'd actually be pretty funny, but Union needs those respawns. Although, that'd be good. But anyways, charging on the very top edge of out of bounds. FSB and 7th Texas being charged by JD, 8th Ohio. I see some 30th Ohio as well. And Union gets swept. Flag is down. And so that's a start there. You do have some Union guys trickling up. Meanwhile, charging on the point right now. Looks like CSA pushed into Union, ABC, and TKO. Going in the 12th VA and MSG. Union is holding at least down here. It looks like they're starting to take the point back. Here comes some more CSA reinforcements starting to charge in. Supposed to be MSG saying huzzahs as they're being charged through on the side. They thought they won. It's not over yet. I will say, I actually did see this map within the past half year. I lied. It was a public match, but I don't really count it because Union just lost a charge and then they all sat in their main spawn and just swam for the rest of the round.
All right. It could happen. Now, one thing I do want to note is that there is Union trying to go to the southeast. They cannot get up that way. All right, Southern Texas, you got to try a different route.
Choose your adventure.
FSB heading toward that direction that I would like for the rest of the Union to go. But I already know the Union's not going to go that way because they're not creative enough.
Sorry.
That's how it usually is in my opinion. As a flag tumbles down the hill.
They're not getting that back. Sorry.
No, it's that Union spawn. They'll get it back.
Yeah, that's not out of bounds. Oh, I'm looking at another flag. Jason got it.
Jason got it. He's there. There you go. That's second corps flag work.
Now, can he actually survive and get it back to his team? Probably not.
I think he might because
if you're out of line though for 30 seconds.
Yeah, but if you're like in the main spawn area, it doesn't, and he might be in that area.
He's gonna die to fall damage. Yep.
Oh dang!
Well,
that
will
flag
it tumble?
might slide down. Oh, it does not.
Jason, you failed.
The other flag did.
So CSA have taken the top of the hill. One Union flag down. It is a thing to note. So if a flag is down inbounds, 5-minute despawn time, and after the 5 minutes is done, it'll despawn and someone can spawn back in with it at main. If it is dropped out of bounds, like in water or just out of bounds, it's a 20 to 30 second despawn.
Okay.
I haven't seen this map in 8 months. Correction.
Union has heard my prayers.
How many flags do they have, though?
They're going around. That doesn't matter. They're trying something different.
I think they have 2.
Someone has done their homework, I hope. Because I will gladly take credit for this.
When
Your
it fails.
brilliant move.
When it fails.
Why are you staring at my ass?
It's better than going up the hill.
That's very true. It's something new, so you can at least appreciate that. Also,
now,
I don't know if
are they going to just go straight up the road and just go right back to what they would have done
so
already?
For those wondering what normally is, there's a couple of Union CSA guys, but like Jason, I think he's trying to go up and get that flag. But Union spawn down on the bottom of the hill. They'll generally just look right and run straight up the hill and then try to get to the point. It's a direct route. This is not a direct route, and it looks like they're going more towards what Corder was saying. So, yeah, it is a very good thing to see Union at least trying something else.
Oh, yes, thank you.
But will it work? Also, the guys running on the road with the rain, it looks like there's some like static around the whole outline of the body.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Now, I feel like this should be helpful for the Union because there aren't really many landmarks in that area that is known to really either team. So, since Union, I would hope, have discussed this in their coordination meeting, I would hope they have a general plan for what they're going to do here.
Yes, I think engage them.
And Texas and FSB, they're staying around the camp, maybe to be the visible part of the Union force.
JD is charging 59th and CQB in the woods.
Lots of the CSA are still staying back around the point. And 12th and 2nd Corps, or 58, rolling up on that side. I would imagine they're going to go down and help against JD. They will eventually. Well, JD is about pretty much done there. Now, what Union has done here
on the flag,
they have indeed flipped the map a whole 180 degrees. Not 90, not that good old right angle, but a straight up double right angle flip around bringing it around town, and they just place basically as the attackers now because of the counterattack. They can use the same strategy that CSA used against the Union against the CSA.
Wow.
Because they can go to the top of the hill, and you can see a lot of the CSA, they're still down at the bottom of the hill. So they could go up with superior numbers, take the high ground, and roll down onto the CSA.
They did get
But they
JD's
could-
flag.
Are
too.
they going to do it? Maybe. I'm going to see it to believe it on that one.
All right. If you-
FSB, they are coming back up, and then they got their flag with it. They have 2 flags with them, actually. So they're going to be going up, and they're going to be bringing some much-needed spawn points. CSA, they are heading back. JD, they have gotten their respawns from the main spawn, and Union's going to have to worry about that.
Union's not moving. They're just kind of sitting and shooting it out, kind of consolidating in the center.
They're moving, but JD, they're on the hunt.
If you had lit the battlefield on your bingo sheet for tonight, you can cross that out like 5 or 6 times.
I know. Now, we do have a couple, a trio of CSA people getting their screenshots. 3rd California, one has plummeted to their death.
Oh, they're on the overlook.
Yeah.
It's the risk of getting the screenshot.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, is the other guy's corpse? Oh yeah, there it is.
Yeah.
Dang. Guess that's what the overlook does to you. Anyways, JD is into the back of Union, just kind of shooting at them. Union just needs, as a team, needs to turn on them and charge. They got 10 minutes left in the counterattack, but Union's just kind of shooting. You hear Natty saying, "Shoot, shoot!"
Yeah, they need to work together as a
JD
whole
backs
Union
off.
team for this counterattack. Because if they don't, then CSA just has to sit there, let the Union come at them, and not break a sweat.
Very close. Let's go. Let's go.
So Union has to go in as a team. They have to overwhelm these groups, these CSA groups, because CSA has a decent run from their spawn to be able to get back to the main fighting area. And Union is pursuing JD back toward their spawn, it looks like.
They got the
It's
flag,
not-
JD did.
Not a bad idea, but they're not really conquering any ground.
Yeah, I mean, at this time,
They will at least be able to kind of expunge JD from the field for a while. So they won't have to really worry about them.
for a moment. But the thing is, right, Union's got 9 minutes left. If Union gets wiped, they'll have one more charge after this. So, I mean, time is churning away. And again, the longer the Union take the move here, I mean, whenever you're attacking on any given area, the longer you take the move to do what you want to do, especially if you're doing a large move action like this, it gives the defenders the longer you take, defenders are going to have more time to respond. And I mean, CSA set most of their guys kind of towards the top of the hill. They still have some guarding red on the point, obviously, that being 10th US, but...
Now, 51st Alabama, they are kind of the scouts at the top of the hill. They're going to be able to see where Union's going to put their forces. And 12th VA, along with MSG and CQB, they're going to be going toward the top of the hill. 59th New York, actually, and CQB, they're going to be going toward the middle, kind of straight toward the point with 7th Texas and FSB. Let's see where 2nd Corps is. Looks like they're going to be going up to the top of the hill with 12th VA. So...
Whoa, what is this? Oh, yeah, charging. Union charged on the 10th US. 59 CQB, 7th Texas.
Yeah,
2
very,
Corps
very
2.
top of the hill. ABC, TKO, and Corn Brigade, they're at the very, very top of the hill. They're starting to come down now as these lower CSA groups are starting to get threatened. Looks like they're going to be all going on the southern-ish side of that road on the point.
Union is starting to take the point back here. The question is CSA going to try to contest this? 13 minutes.
JD has gotten their numbers up, and JD is heading straight toward the point. They'd be going to the back of 59th New York and all the rest of the Union that's right here. You're first going to encounter the flag that Dusty Ox is holding. How quickly are they going to notice?
Too late. He looked that way and didn't move.
It's definitely going to be too late. Slowly we'll see the Union start to turn around. 2 flags go down for the Union.
CSA taking the point back.
3 flags. Actually, there's just 2 flags.
Kill these fuckers.
And JD, what a charge in there. Union not expecting something on their flank necessarily, which can't blame them for that. So that's a huge wipe there from JD's part. Top of the point, though, MSG and 12th VA collapsing into the CSA right here, which 10th Tennessee is holding. CSA still holding, actually starting to teeter back in Union's favor.
Yeah, that top Union group are not going to be able to break through.
I got a flag down. Never mind, I got picked right back up.
Honestly, the charging is probably not going to be good for Union because I would imagine if any of the CSA has buck and ball, they're going to be using it. Now, Union doesn't necessarily have to charge, but they can still be, aggressively in the shooting game.
CSA's holding on point, though.
They are. But they could have taken some of that time they had before and positioned themselves farther up the hill and,
That's true.
get some high ground, because that's going to be better shooting-wise.
2 Corps is, I don't know if they're repositioning, but they're running down the hill with 2 flags off point. You still got some FSB, 10 US guys on point. Yeah, don't blame them, because CSA is now taking the point back. 5 minutes, 20 seconds on the counter.
Two Union flags are down.
Yeah. Man. So, Corded, about the corded strategy, the corded plan. Your review.
So, look, it's better than what they would have done before. Because what normally happens, they go out of spawn, they go straight up that
fair.
valley, and then they're just at the bottom of this massive hill.
No, that's
and
fair.
CSA just goes straight down on them.
It's just unfortunate that it takes 10 years for a Union to do that, which is why that spawn should be over by the Overlook or something like that. Or maybe just on top of the hill. Maybe not that. I'm kidding. Anyways, you will note it's only like 6, 7, or 8 minutes to run from the bottom of this hill and follow the road to the Overlook. It takes you like 6, 7, 8 minutes in the game. It takes you like 50 minutes to an hour in real life, so they need to really fix this game. Not the accurate hiking time.
Hiking simulator, yeah.
Yeah. Hey, if you're watching, if you ever want to go to a Civil War battlefield, obviously there's like Gettysburg, Antietam, all great. However, I would highly recommend visiting Harper's Ferry. A beautiful town, hike Maryland Heights. It will take, like I said, 45 minutes to an hour to get up to the top, assuming, you can take a couple of breaks in there, but when I did, it took a couple breaks. That's how long it took to get up there. It is well worth going there at least once, I would say. It was such a beautiful view. It's as good as in game.
Now, I will caveat, if you want like Civil War battlefield sort of stuff, Harper's Ferry isn't great.
That's true.
When you get out of the main area for Harper's Ferry, there's not really much Civil War stuff. There's like a few plaques around, and that's pretty much it, I think, from what I saw.
It's better than South Mountain, where there's like 2 or 3 statues and then a couple of plaques in random locations.
Yeah, Antietam kind of reigns there.
Antietam's pretty epic. It's so cool. It was weird because like Gettysburg, I'd seen the movie a good couple of times before actually going there in real life. But playing War of Rights and seeing Antietam for a long time and then going in person, it's kind of awesome. Anyways, 3 minutes on the counterattack. Union can force an overtime if they have more bodies on point when the gold timer hits 0, assuming they haven't taken it at that point. And then once they hit overtime, they have to continually keep capping to do so. So Union just kind of dive bombing at it. CSA all across the top of the hill. For now, I assume they're going to start moving down and realizing Union is now doing the more normal strategy. 59th is the furthest forward for Union. So, moving down to the left of the 59th, to the right of 10th US, you got JD trying to get flanking shots. However, Union's going to be flanking behind JD, kind of doing a little revenge move for what they did a little earlier.
Buffy MSG taking the high ground from JD, and I guess they're going to be working down on it. No, they're just going to walk right past him pretty much. Alright.
CSA went down from top of the hill.
Went in. The rest of them are going straight toward the point.
And tactical.
They kind of got cut off. JD did get wiped. 7 Texas came in, was able to clean up with FSB.
Union that just charged straight up center. CSA kind of trickle charged them. It didn't break Union at all there.
TKO, now they're going in.
Yeah, most of the
Might be able to
CSA.
get a few casualties on the Union, but I think they're going to hold for a little bit longer. Now it's going to be 30th Ohio following behind TKO.
Oh my goodness. Everything's happening.
They're facing off against the rest of the Union that's up toward the top of the point.
CSA just has to hold for 1 more minute. If they have more bodies on point and the clock is 0, they'll take the win.
30th Ohio breaks the Union on the bottom. Flags are running up on the road toward the point.
What a beautiful
Looks
map.
like some of them might get cut off, might lose a flag.
Yeah, cause some charging further up where those flags are running to.
Get up here, get on point. Get up here, get on point.
It's not looking too great for the Union. It's looking like
Wow.
half the flags are down for Union. I think actually looks like they only have
Yeah,
one
CSA
flag
is going
left.
to take it. You know, that was a really good charge, though, by Union. They got a good amount of CSA, but not enough.
I'm going to continue
So,
killing you out of line. 'Cause of you.
Corden, what are your thoughts are as CSA is going to get a win here?
So the beginning of the round is kind of a blur to me. I don't really remember what happened.
There was a charge.
So there was a charge. So it was kind of high ground. It was some high ground, some toward the middle, and I think that may have freaked the Union out a little bit because it didn't feel like they really knew how to react. It was pretty early on in the round that CSA was able to. Actually, it was at 40 minutes that they were able to take the point, and the Union that counterattack. It could have been great, I feel, but it was a lot of slow execution. CSA was able to keep getting their respawns in from main before Union was able to keep or was able to coordinate a attack together to retake the point. And I think that slowness was able to allow CSA the time to just fight them off.
Yeah, this was Maryland Heights for the most part. You know, Union tried something new. At least they didn't go all the way up on the top of the hill. Maybe they're waiting for flags to respawn. But CSA did exactly what they needed to do to win the game. So yeah, I'm happy to see Maryland Heights. Maybe you don't need to see it for a while, but hey, I'm happy to see it. Anyways, we'll get the standings for you in a second. And with that being said, here are the standings. Nothing changed. Wow, nothing ever happens. Anyways, again, no matchup next week because it's the War of Rights Steam sale and they're doing the July 4th anniversary update. So we're probably just getting a reskin, maybe some new maps, who knows, and Revolutionary War stuff. But yeah, War of Rights is going to be 50% off. If you're ever thinking about getting the game, buy the game now. You can always play it for up to 2 hours and within 2 weeks. And if you don't like it, refund it, you know? Simple as that. But anyways, thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. If you want to support the channel more, go beneath the video, hit the join button. By doing so, you can get a live stream of all the broadcasts we do. You can advertise your Regiment and the Bomber videos and get an additional broadcast per week. Besides that, though, we have our Discord, our Clips channel. If you'd like the YouTube Daily Shorts, check that out. Anyways, I appreciate you all. Could not do this without you guys, and we'll see you in the next one. Have a wonderful rest of your night.